Sure, there's gonna be like a Samsung ad or some shit.
Hmm?
Yep.
What?
Yeah. Oh no, this
What
is.
Oh, you're gonna do that instead? But
I'm not sure
isn't
what
that
this is a
due
commercial for.
tonight? Okay. Okay.
Okay. So sound off. Cody.
What up?
James.
Watch your right, watch your right.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
Watch your right, watch your right. Watch your right. For the
And because of all the call-outs for watching our right, I can totally hear you. So I'm gonna mute myself. There we go. All right, let's get started. This is Wholesome Hoodlum live Gamecast episode 1. We finally made it, you guys. We've arrived.
Look at me, Mom,
Episode
so
1.
grown up.
I thought this was episode 2.
No, that was episode 0 last time.
Last week was episode 0, just to see that any of this shit worked at all, and it did. So here
And
we
if
are.
anyone was gonna watch it, which
I would
people
like
did.
to say that I believe this one is going to go a bit smoother due to the amount of people.
Yeah, there's fewer of us. I was thinking the exact same thing. Also, as much as I love Richard, because I do love Richard, he is kind of annoying to talk to sometimes, because he just goes on and on. But I should
He's
know.
gonna watch this later, and he's gonna be like, "What the fuck, man?"
Well, no, the reason why I say that is because I go on, and he's always cramping my fucking style. Anyway, here we are. I'm the host, or one of the hosts, Raul, Cody, James, Dylan. You guys are also co-hosts here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're here to talk about some video games. What the fuck? Hold on, watch out right in front of us. First off, I'd like to say, I'm mad at you guys for making me play this game again. I just wanted to play something else for a little bit, but that you're like, just get on for a second, and then now here I am. Damn, I cannot kill this guy.
We're going after masks. It's cool. Just join. Right
And
now.
I really wanted a
We're right
mask.
next to it.
Yeah, I really wanted a
It'll
mask,
be cool.
and I still don't have a mask. And now here I'm streaming fucking Division again. So here we are.
Hey man, we'll get to it. Next night cycle, all right?
Yeah, there's Keaton, so maybe he'll want to jump in. But for now, what is going on? What are we talking about? I think you wanted to talk about Generation Zero, but I didn't actually like organize in terms of what we were talking about. So
Neither did I. I figured that we'd just kind of wing it.
yeah, that's what I do
Oh, okay.
pretty much every day with life.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Oh, these guys are rushing me, and
then
I'm scared.
if you guys are so interested, I have a bit on Firestorm, Battlefield 5 Battle Royale.
Yeah, tell us about it. Let's start with that.
We're gonna
actually.
start it off. All right. Well, I spent the past few hours playing Firestorm on Battlefield 5, their new Battle Royale mode. Now, one thing that when you launch it up is kind of surprising for a Battle Royale. You have 2 modes: solo or squads.
We gotta go this way, guys.
How is that surprising? That's pretty common, I would say.
Those, yes, but there's also a third option that is really common: duos. Duos is missing. So
Okay.
that's, I mean, whatever. You take the good with the bad, and my friend brought up a good point. Battlefield 5 doesn't have a huge player base yet, or maybe ever. Yeah, it was not a successful sell.
Oh yeah, I mean it's on sale like every other week, and it came out like what, in November?
Yeah, in December it was $30.
Yeah, it was $30 like last week too, and I was like, that's like
Yeah.
the 3rd time I've seen it on sale. So yeah, it's not doing so great.
Hey guys,
Yeah,
you know
so
we
my
didn't
friend-
finish we didn't finish.
Oh, we did.
I know.
Okay.
I'm gonna try going around and see if we can get in that way.
Okay.
Because I cannot
Alright.
find the fucking entrance to this building.
All right, James, me and you will take the
Sorry.
interior, I guess. Or
Yeah.
Gator's also. Here.
So my friend actually brought up a good point about Firestorm and why it's lacking duos. Well, that might divide up what community there is
Maybe
on.
we'll just not know exactly where we're going at all.
It might divide up the community for, the game. since
Right.
There's already so few people on. All right, so past that starting screen, you get put into a game, and the map is really large, but you're only playing on one part of it. and you know how it's just a circle, sure, whatever. But no, it's like a quarter size of the map. That's the playable circle, even when you start.
Okay.
Is the entrance right here? No, no, just kidding.
And shit, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so
Sorry.
that's pretty cool. The skydiving, you know, it's just natural. You jump out of a plane, land wherever you want to freaking land, whatever.
That's standard Battlefield fare, though. If you do that and you're familiar with it in any game, it should be Battlefield, because you're jumping out of planes and shit all the time in that game. Where the fuck are we going?
Oh God.
I don't know.
So, I
Welcome to
played
the
a bit
podcast,
of
where we walk around buildings.
This is why I hate this game. I feel like I'm perpetually lost.
Oh my God. So,
I have an idea.
I'm gonna punch the next person in the throat. I swear to God. Let me finish this shit.
Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. I played a bit of solos. Now, solos was horrible, plain and simple. The map is too big. It feels way too empty. The round size is only 60. I'm gonna punch you in the fucking throat, you fucking flat earther.
The map is too big or too small? What do you say?
Cody found it out.
Too big
Cody
for solo.
found out too.
Okay,
Sorry.
too big for solo.
I'm done with this podcast. I'll see you guys later.
He's gonna log out. No, this is unfortunately something we have to deal with. It is a live podcast. It's a Let's Play and a podcast at the same time. We're trying to cover topics, but we're also playing the game. That's what makes us unique. Hashtag watch our show.
Hashtag sponsor me.
Yeah, hashtag give me money.
Nintendo, give me free stuff.
Yeah, that's actually where that comes from. I used to when I did a gaming podcast before, I would say, well, this is the such and such podcast brought to you by the power of the PlayStation Pro, the PlayStation 4 Pro, the PS4 Pro, and Twitch. And then I was like, Sony, give me money. But yeah, no. So you say that the solo map is too large and not fun at all. Kind of atrocious. You said the experience was,
it's the same size as the squads map, which, I mean, it's Battle Royale, that's understandable, whatever. But it just felt very empty. Now, the health system, kind of foobar. You die extremely fast. I mean, as a realistic
Battlefield
sim
in
kind
general.
of game, yeah, as a real sim kind of game, that's understandable, especially Battlefield.
Can we get a Siege Battle Royale?
God, no.
That would never work.
Atrocious.
Like, Siege barely works as it is, and there's only 10 players in the game.
That's true. Anyways, go on, James.
Yes,
yeah,
please.
Solos, not that great. It just felt too empty, and it felt like a game of cat and mouse. Like, everybody was just kind of holding their positions, and you'd run by, well, you're dead. Instantly, you got no time to fight back. The healing system, it's health and armor, of course. But they do it in a way where you just have to press too many buttons. Like, you have to pull it out and then apply it. So there's no just, like, hotkey
Well, yeah,
or anything like that.
that's how healing is in Battlefield in general. There's never a, double tap square to inject fucking heroin into your veins.
Yes.
But rather,
There he is.
you had to pull out the satchel and then throw it down on the ground and then go pick it up and then you slowly heal.
But see, what they've done now is you pull out a syringe and you poke yourself with the syringe. But even healing, it seems like they slowed down healing. Armor, that's the armor that they use is actually pretty cool. When you swap it out, you could actually see the bullet holes and like the cracks in the metal and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
That's neat.
Kind
James,
of like
give me...
this game
Yeah.
where you swap out an armor plate and it's all steamy.
It's all fucked up.
got
James, give me
dents in it.
1 second. Keaton, are you here? We're podcasting. You down for that?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so everybody, Keaton is joining the podcast. Keaton's a close friend of mine. We know who fucking Keaton is. He was on the first episode or the zero
great
episode.
guy.
He's a good guy. Yeah.
Aw.
So before you go on, James, I got to jump in here. I was just like, because I like to let people talk, but I've a couple of things are popping into my head here. First off, aren't all battle royale aren't all battle royale games like that, where you have to equip your health item and then actually use it, and then it takes time before it's done? That's the impression I
Yes.
was under. Yeah. So that's something that I'm okay. I'm like, all right, moving forward. What else did you say? The map was too big. Like, I have complaints about Battlefield because I'm a huge Battlefield
Oh, we talking
fan.
about Firestorm?
Yeah, but you go on. Tell us more about Firestorm. Keaton, have you played
Okay.
it?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Cool.
So yeah,
So I
go,
have someone
go
to
ahead.
bounce off of.
Right. Go ahead, James.
Next up, the UI is pretty clunky. The inventory system is not streamlined at all. Like, I had to sit there and actually think about what I was doing
Sorry.
and see where the cursor was going and stuff like that. But
And it's a
gunplay
cursor?
is good. It's not a cursor, but like my selector. Because to get
Okay.
to your ammo, you have to scroll all the way up through your entire inventory, even the stuff you have equipped. So it's really clunky in that aspect. Gunplay,
like,
it's Battlefield, it's
cursor?
great. Yeah.
Is it fucking PUBG?
I wish. But no, clunky. Now, where it actually shines is squads. Squads is fucking fun. Just because in solos, you have vehicles and everything, but you're driving the vehicles. There's no way in hell that you are gonna just switch weapons, get on the gun, shoot somebody down, and keep going. No, you're completely exposed. You're gonna die before you even get to the gun.
What kind of vehicles?
I
Thanks.
saw Jeeps, I
Jeeps.
saw a tank, and a helicopter.
Apparently there's like 16 different vehicles.
Helicopter.
Yes.
So
This
okay,
shit's-
go
This
ahead.
shit's World War One.
World War II.
It's a real boo-boo looking
Or
helicopter.
no, World
but-
War Two in this one.
Yeah.
One was a fucking fail.
So, my oh shit, my question here is I can't jump down there. My big question here is or not necessarily even a question, but just a comment. That makes a ton of sense to me that it would shine with squads because that's when Battlefield I think is at its best, is when you're in a group of people that are at least attempting to push whatever the objective is, even in the general game mode. So I'm not particularly surprised. I honestly feel like anytime that you try and separate some of the core aspects of Battlefield as they've done in the past, you end up with something that's just not so great. Like Team Deathmatch in Battlefield doesn't feel right to me. Not as much as any of the objective-based game modes. And not being alone in being squadless in any mode of Battlefield usually is ass. So it doesn't surprise me at all that Battlefield 5 feels good, or that Firestorm feels good with a squad. But that's just a comment. Anything else? Sorry.
Weapon rarity, it seems to be the only difference is the attachments on the weapons. Yeah, I mean, it's standard Battle Royale. Is it better than anything else out there? No.
Is it better than
Is
Apex?
it- No, absolutely not.
That's sad.
Was that honestly a serious question?
It was a serious question because
Apex is
Dude.
great.
The people need to know.
well, I mean, my point, like, I feel the same way about Anthem in a way. Like, if you're gonna create a shooter or a game that is part of a specific genre that is like hugely popular right now, you have to do it better than your competitors, or differently enough that you can set yourself apart. Anthem failed in that regard, and that's why we don't play it anymore, despite the fact that I spent $80 on it. And
Same.
Not salty.
And yeah, I'm not mad about it at all. And you know, when a game comes out, a new game comes out, and it fails to introduce anything innovative or just be better than other games of the same genre, it's always kind of a pain in the ass. You're just like, why did this happen? This is not a game; it's a game mode, so that's not the same thing. But I don't know. I've always, lately in particular, I feel like the Battlefield developer, has just kind of been taking a really lazy approach to their development of their product because they know people are going to buy it every year. Not unlike how Call of Duty works. Or
I would agree with you there. Battlefield 3, amazing.
Battlefield
The
3
jump
was
to
amazing.
Battlefield 4 was great. And then Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, well, 1 was alright. 5, I actually do like a fair bit, but it was just lacking maps. It was just lacking maps and innovative game modes. They're the same game modes. They haven't done anything new. Whereas Battlefield 3 always introduced new game modes along with Battlefield 4.
Where are we going?
So I agree with that there.
I don't know. What is the
There's a
objective
bounty.
here? Okay. Are we
I don't
close
know.
to it, or should we fast travel?
I fast traveled
Y'all-
to Cody, and then you guys left.
Oh, Raul was like right next to it, so.
Oh,
What?
I'm in combat now. Whoops.
I'm fast traveling to Gator. We're just gonna
Don't,
sort
don't
this
fast
out.
travel to me. Don't fast travel
It's
to
too
me.
late. It's already happening.
We're just gonna spend this whole podcast just going back and forth.
Just not knowing where we are. That's why I don't like playing this game, because like it's hard. Like the map is huge. Like here's the thing. Let's take a side moment so I can bitch about the Division. Last week we talked about how much I liked the game, and I do like the game. But like navigating this game and having a conversation or just chilling out and just trying to play it for me, and I'm not saying this is for everybody, is just insanely hard. Like, it's not a chill game for me. Like, I'm always I got stats thrown up in my face all the time, and I gotta, like, move shit all around all the time. And it's just, like, it's a lot more item management than I can really handle and have a conversation about. That's why I wanted to just play Terrorist Hunt.
I mean, we could still swap over to Rainbow Six.
I'm already
Just take a
streaming
second.
now. We
Restarted.
can't.
The live stream, buddy.
I mean, unless
anyways,
I just scrap this entirely and start over. But anyway, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep on going. What were you saying, Cody?
I have questions about Firestorm, just because I have yet to, jump back on Battlefield since a lot of other games have become relevant.
Revive.
But like, let's say for example, one of the things that made H1Z1 so horrible of a free battle royale was the reliance on vehicles. How was that?
I didn't see vehicles being like a necessity. Honestly, people would see helicopters and they would just walk away from them. I walked away from helicopters. In solo at least. Squads,
Yeah.
It seems like mainly it's just used for transport, but even then, you're just in the wide open, and it's not very uncommon to open up a loot box and get a fucking Panzerfaust immediately. So it seems like vehicles are extremely easy to take out.
Including tanks?
Well, I mean, this was World War II. Tanks were
a-
like made out of paper back then.
See, I shot a tank with one of those anti-grenade or anti-tank pistol grenade thingies, just the handheld ones that do little damage.
The AP grenade launcher.
Yeah, and I did
Or
like
AT.
30. I did 35 damage on it, so 3 of those and it would have been destroyed.
Sounds about standard. For,
Yeah,
from
but no,
the
that's just
multiplayer as well.
that's a little fucking hand grenade.
Yeah.
The Panzerfaust, I would assume, would take out a tank in 2 shots.
Same. Not same as multiplayer. Multiplayer was, I think, 3.
Multiplayer was fucking a lot, man.
Sometimes it depended on
Yeah.
the type of armor plating that they had equipped.
Well, yeah, heavy tank, light tank, medium tank.
Right.
I believe there is one heavy tank that spawns in Firestorm now. Like in every match, there's one that spawns.
Yeah.
At least from all the trailers and stuff that I've seen and read, it seemed that way.
Okay.
Anyways, so that was my main concern.
Just so we can keep this moving, Keaton, how do you feel about it? Because I actually want to have a conversation about Greater Battlefield as a whole, because I obviously have no experience with Battlefield 5.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't spent too much time on it. I think I played it four or five times. I mean, it's fun. I liked it. I didn't fucking hate it by any means. It wasn't terrible. They have some issues they could work out here and there, like exactly what he said. Like the UI is kind of. Shooting felt really good. It felt like Battlefield. I had no problem with that. I didn't really get to get in any vehicles besides like the one little small one-seater fucking thing. I mean, I don't know how we'd play out the squads. All I played was solos, so I couldn't go off that. I didn't play it with anybody either.
Realistically, though, is that what EA should be focusing on? In all honesty.
What, a Battle Royale mode?
Yeah.
No, but everybody's going to focus on that because that's what's fucking popular. Never should it be focused on, but it's going to be, so it really doesn't even... That conversation really doesn't even fucking matter, honestly, because it's going to happen,
So, this actually brings up what I think is really some...
The new Halo's going to have a goddamn Battle Royale. I mean, who fucking knows? Gears of War. Like, it's just... Fucking From Software wants to make a goddamn Battle Royale now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Battle
when
Royale
something
for
makes $1
everyone.
billion in 3 months, People pay attention. Yeah, like, look, here, you guys, I know you disagree with me on this one, but this is why I don't like Marvel movies, is because as soon as somebody else starts to see how much money you're making, then people start to copy it, regardless of whether or not it's any good. And then you got everybody doing the same shit. It's counterintuitive to creativity, I think. But that's neither here nor there, and it's none of my business. So moving on from that, this is actually an interesting thing. Like, when we talk about Battlefield 5 in particular, I think Battlefield 1 made a pretty huge shift away from what you would consider standard Battlefield fare, especially because it was going back in time and everything was kind of like pared down in terms of everything. But one of the things that turned me off to it immediately was that I saw that there was a huge reliance on like hip fire, and it seemed like they had really casualified the game in a way that I wasn't 100% crazy about, as somebody who likes Battlefield for its somewhat sim-like nature. That I don't think is enough to convince people to stop buying the game at all. But something did with Battlefield 5, and there was quite a big controversy regarding that. What are your opinions on it? How do you feel about it after the fact? Because I think people were blowing it up out of proportion, as they so often do, before the game came out. And now here we are. So, thoughts?
I love thoughts.
Me too. Anyway,
Stay away from the thoughts, kids.
Our show is both informative and educational.
Yes, and completely and totally
Sexualized.
yeah. But no, for real. What are your guys' thoughts? Because I have my own opinion on Battlefield 5 that I think is somewhat unpopular among most people, but I want to save mine for the last one because it'll be better. No, go ahead.
So you're talking about just opinion on the game as a whole?
Not even just the opinion as like, why do you think it didn't do well? Is probably the better question to ask.
Because they did 2 World Wars back to back.
Okay.
So the fact that
Plus, Call of Duty World War II came out around that same time, so everybody was doing World War II and World War I games.
Yeah, the Firestorm
And
hasn't even been out for what? How long has it been out? When did it initially release?
Came out
November?
today, didn't it?
Which
oh,
game?
you mean Battlefield 5? Battlefield 5 came out in November, yeah.
Yeah.
and Firestorm came out about
2 weeks
week
ago?
and a half ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, give or take.
I mean, yeah,
Which, I mean, they did
5
promise it
months.
would be coming within the year of the game being out. Once again,
but
you
before
know,
it came out, like,
they
yeah,
are
that, and
releasing
also
games
the
before
campaign.
they're complete.
Right, that's part of, I think, the big issue. And I think that got that's I don't even know how to react to that one, but I think that's part of the big issue. Is like, if you wanted to talk about like true legit facts, they released a game that wasn't fucking done and they knew it. And I don't know why they did that for any other reason than just they usually release games in November or whatever, but like it totally, like, their game totally shit the bed on arrival, and that's a problem. But I think walking into it, there was this whole controversy about female characters and customization items and things like that. And let me state this right here. I have no problem with women in war games or in any game, in any kind of like multiplayer games. I play as a woman primarily in any game that I get the choice to. So, and that's, again, like, has nothing to do with me because I'm a guy. But what I'm saying is that, like, if there are people out there that want to play as chicks because they want to be represented in the game, 100% fine. When you use that against the backdrop of World War II, though, it gets kind of weird. And what really bothered me had nothing to do with this, but the fact that, like, a big part of the trailer, the first trailer that dropped for Battlefield 5, they had a chick with one arm playing, or fighting in this war, and that's fine too. But, like, as somebody who employs a prosthetic, I don't necessarily appreciate them boiling down my lifestyle. Yeah, capitalizing on my lifestyle by making it a fucking cosmetic item and then trying to, like, talk about it like they're trying to include people. I found that to be incredibly disrespectful. And it wasn't the thing that made me decide not to buy the game. What made me decide not to buy the game was that I had kind of lost interest in Battlefield as a whole, and I didn't like the direction they were taking it in with this one. I felt like they were doing more of Battlefield 1, which, like I said before, had kind of taken a step away from the milsim thing that I liked about it, or at least the milsim arcade kind of like line that they had always straddled, and really just kind of went into like kind of an arcadey game. That isn't to say that it wasn't fun. I played Battlefield 1. It was fun. I just didn't want to play it for as many hours as I played Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, Battlefield Bad Company 2, or Battlefield Bad Company 1. So I like, you know, and I state that to express that I am a big Battlefield fan, obviously. So I think people took that, they took the fact that there were women in Battlefield 1 and they blew it up and conflated it into this whole huge argument about it not being like a true Battlefield. And then EA then responded extremely poorly with, if you don't want to play it, then don't buy it. And like you said, Cody, there are a lot more games that are a lot more relevant, or there are more games that are becoming more and more relevant as time goes on. And a lot of people were like, okay, and they just didn't buy it. Yeah, for a lot less. And when you think about like even just Apex, like that came out by surprise, but that game is fucking free. And I can't say I'm always in the mood to play that game, but when I play it, I do have fun.
Yes. If they would have, you know, maybe put in a little bit more content and, you know, charged you $30 for it, would you have done that?
Yeah, probably. It would have been a different conversation entirely. If they had approached their game from like, we're a AAA game, but we're not finished yet, like even just kind of, I mean, I know that you, like on PlayStation in particular, early access games are not allowed, but if you had just said the game's not finished yet, we're going to give it for this much money, and everything else will be applied as time goes on, then I would have had a different opinion on it. But the whole thing also feels kind of money grubbing. It feels very EA because they charged you full price for a game that wasn't finished yet, you know?
I feel like when you're releasing a game that's not finished, you should be doing it in the opposite direction. You should be charging less at the beginning if it's not finished, and then instead of it going on sale later on, you should be charging more
as it gets like as there's
when
more
it's
added
finally
to it.
finished, all the content's on there, you know. I feel like that would be more beneficial too, because then you would have more revenue to use to essentially
Increase the quality of the game.
Yeah, kickstart the projects that you need to finish the game and maybe even improve it past what you planned on.
I mean, and then the thing that it seems like none of these developers understand is also goodwill of the people, which is getting, I mean, should have been more important from the start, but is becoming more important as people have become more and more fed up with the way games are being sold to us. And I mean, I 100% agree with that, so... Ow, you just shot me in the back with a shotgun, Cody. What the fuck? I felt that.
My bad, man. I was reloading. It just went off.
Anyway, but yeah, so that's my opinion on how Battlefield went. And Cody, you talked about it. Do you want to take it and like give you your full opinion on everything? And then, I mean, after the fact, I hear the game actually had a lot of nice quality of life increases too.
No, the game's fantastic. I don't know about the Battle Royale. I haven't played it. I don't think of Battle Royale or have a desire to play it when I think of Battlefield. It's not something that, you know, entices me.
Sure.
Call of Duty was kind of pushing it, you know?
Yeah.
But Call of Duty's always been one to kind of test the limits of their game and see what they can
and
get
the
away
people,
with.
yeah, and the people that buy their game.
Yeah, but I mean, both companies, they're Activision and EA, they're gonna, you know, release stuff whether people want it or not, and people are still gonna buy it.
Right, and that ultimately, like, I've been saying that shit since I had hair, you guys. Like, it fucking bothers me that people still will just, without a doubt, buy a game. And I say that because it really is detrimental to gaming as a whole, and I think has done a lot of damage over the last couple of years, over the last decade. But, like, I still also buy games just because I have trust and faith in the developers that I like them. Like, that's why I bought Anthem, and I totally shouldn't have.
Fallout 76.
Right. I wouldn't. I was like, no. After Fallout 4, I was like, mm-mm. But that's because I'm one of those people.
I didn't absolutely hate Fallout 4. I mean, it was no 3, it was no New Vegas, but I enjoyed 4. You know, it felt more like a shooter than a survival game. But I was like, cool. Now they're gonna make that shit online. I fucking bought the Tricentennial $80 edition, and you know what?
Yeah, we just anytime a game comes out for $80, just don't buy it. That's the lesson here.
I mean, you don't want to know what I did with Borderlands 3, by the way.
Oh dear. Okay, well, I mean that's different. I think everybody has a lot of faith in
Did you get
Borderlands
that
right now.
250 one?
Yeah, here.
Silence.
What's up?
You get that 250 one?
The 250, yeah, the Diamond Edition.
Yeah, the fucking loot chest. I want
Yeah.
it. I really do.
It comes with so much
I know.
physical items. I was like,
Oh,
I'm
James
in.
is down.
Like, I would buy it just to resell it, honestly, because I'm sure somebody.
And you know what's funny is I got the last one. Like
How'd you-
out of the entire company.
Oh wow. Oh
Which
shit.
on me.
Yeah, get him
Pretty
up.
interesting. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Right, right. Back to Battlefield for now.
Yes, back to Battlefield. Game fantastic. You know, I don't think it had enough game modes, enough content, and I don't know why they're not focusing on story with these past two.
Can I tell you?
'Cause-
Sorry to cut you off. Can I tell you what
No,
I
no,
think?
you're good. You're
What I think Battlefield could add that I think would really change it, like really make it. And they've done it before, but would really make it a game worth buying for me.
co-op.
Fucking co-op. They did Onslaught in Bad Company 2. And I didn't spend a crazy.
They did a co-op one. It was more of an arcadey one, but it
Right.
was
They had
in
like
3,
missions.
right?
Yeah. Where you like had a 2-player co-op, but no, like 4-player co-op. Same kind of like fucking destruction.
Nowadays, it needs to be 4-player co-op.
Same kind of fucking attachments. You know, like the thing I love about Battlefield is attaching weapons and making guns my own. Like I had for every class in Battlefield, Battlefield 3 and 4. I had guns that I liked with no attachments. I had guns that I liked with maximum attachments. I had guns that had crazy fucking recoil. I had guns that had extremely fast rates of fire. Like Battlefield to me is about the guns and it's about the vehicles. And if you could just make a co-op game that allows me to do that with my friends and not have to worry about shitty teammates or not have to worry about the other 70 people or whatever it is on my team not fucking rushing the objective, then I will be happy, and I will give you money, DICE. Can you fucking hear me here? I will give you money again. But until you do something like that, there are so many other multiplayer games I'd rather be playing right now.
Yeah.
But you were saying about story.
I mean, let's be honest. Bad Company 1, 2, Battlefield 3, and 4. I mean, I think they got worse with time,
Yes,
obviously.
yes.
In terms of
Narratively.
quality of story.
Yes, absolutely.
Which I think that's when we started to see the decline.
No, I mean that's 100% true. I would agree with. There's been a general just decline in the quality of Battlefield games as time has gone on.
Well, you could say that about every story mode game. There has been a general decline in story mode games, besides PlayStation exclusives, obviously.
I mean, depending on your opinion, I would say that Red Dead was also good.
Well,
Red
yeah,
Dead was amazing.
but also
Yes.
Red Dead took fucking how long to come out, and
Like
it was
8 years.
still buggy as hell.
It had its problems. I never ran into huge bugs.
Me neither. Not like The Division.
Oh my god.
Okay, but or not like Anthem. Why don't we say that? Let's call
Yes,
a spade a spade.
that's a much better one.
Oh fuck! I fucked this up. But I mean, that conversation is another one of like, are single player games still a thing? And I think the last year has proven that they very much are. At least, like you said, for Sony, because Sony's killing it in that regard. Even though, and this is another conversation that people don't like to have, a lot of Sony games are very similar. That's all I'm gonna say. Not that that's a bad thing. They're all very high quality, but they're all very similar.
And beautiful.
And beautiful, yes.
And beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I like God of War a lot. and that I think is one of the outliers in that one. That was like more gamey, but like Uncharted, even The Last of Us, and The Last of Us is one of my favorite games. Uncharted, The Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn, despite the genre differences there, all feel very samey in terms of like lacking in mechanics and mostly just you walking and killing stuff. And with some cool melee combat occasionally. But God of War has like armor sets and fucking builds that you can work towards. I think that was a step in the right direction. Anyway, sorry.
Also, I like how we've just completely dismissed Battlefield Hardline. Like,
oh right, yeah.
We don't talk about that one.
I mean, they had a good idea with cops and robbers, but
Don't put the Battlefield name on it.
You wanna know something funny? I did a focus group in 2011 for what I believe turned out to be somebody field testing whether or not Battlefield Hardline would be successful.
You were the downfall of us all.
Well, here's the thing, right? They hired a guy to talk about the game. He was like, if you did like a cops and robbers game, but with Battlefield-like vehicles, or with access to like vehicles like Battlefield, and I think the thing that really told me off on it was that like when I was up for like, you know, they were asking me if I wanted to be part of this fucking focus group. And I was like, yeah, sure, fuck it. You're gonna pay me to talk about video games? Damn right, I want to be part of the focus group. But they asked me my favorite games, and when it came down to my very favorite ones, it was a toss up between Halo and Battlefield. And they're like, which one is it? And I'm like, I don't know. It's probably Halo. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, no, it's Battlefield. And then they let me in. So I'm pretty sure it was a Battlefield game. But the way that the guy sold the game to us, it was like, yeah, if it's going to be just like Battlefield but with cops and robbers, fuck yeah. But it wasn't just like Battlefield with cops and robbers. It was like some sort of weird bastardization of Battlefield that just didn't feel right and just felt kind of uninspired in my opinion. And it's sad because
Battlefield's awkward second cousin.
Right, like the redheaded stepchild of Battlefield. And what's funny is that like they asked us questions that were never even relevant to the actual game later on. Like, one of them was like, do you think you would have any problem killing cops? And I was like, I kill cops in Grand Theft Auto, like, all day long. Of course not. And that was, like as if it was some sort of moral thing or some sort of, like, narrative thing that would come up later on. And it never fucking became a thing. Nobody ever, like, addressed that. You played as a cop in the single player. Like, nobody gave a fuck about killing cops. Please, God, don't let me get turned into Swiss cheese. Okay, there we go. Anyway.
Oh, God.
I mean, that might be an issue now, you know. I mean, not so much as of recently. PD hasn't been doing that, but just in general, I can see how releasing it later could be an issue.
Well, my point in bringing it up is not about the like moral quandary of killing cops. That's a different conversation entirely. But
yeah,
just that, like the way that he posed questions to us suggested that they were making a different game that had focuses in different areas, and that's what made it sound really cool. Like, yes, it was Battlefield with cops and robbers, but it made it sound like there was some sort of narrative or other aspect to it that made it worth enjoying, and it turned out to just be Battlefield with cops and robbers. Is what I'm saying.
And I think what Battlefield is missing, I mean, yes, it's still EA, but they need to incorporate some aspects from the Medal of Honor series, at least the modern Warfare one.
I never got to play it.
I would say the opposite.
It got reviewed pretty shitty back in the day. What was that, like 2000? That was like between 2007 and 2010, right? I don't remember when it came out exactly.
Medal of Honor 2010 and Medal of Honor Warfighter 2012.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talk about Warfighter, but
I gotta go to
the
the
self-titled
base.
was much better.
Unlockable beards.
I gotta go to the base, guys.
All right. Are you leader?
No, yeah.
He is.
Okay.
Also, it is time to hunt these bitches.
Okay, so we've been talking about Battlefield 5 a lot, and I think I've gotten all my like juice out about it. Anything else? Anybody? Wait, what'd you say?
I could talk about it for hours. and about how fucking these AAA titles need to stop, but I mean, here we are.
I mean, well, that's the thing is that like when you talk about the problems with Battlefield, then you start talking about the problems with just the gaming industry as a whole, and we could talk about that for hours, and that's why I'm trying to like move the conversation in a different direction. When you talk about AAA titles, here's a great segue actually. Talking about AAA titles, I think is kind of upsetting and somewhat frustrating for anybody who really loves games and particularly really likes to see lots of different diversity within games. AAA titles, because of the cost of production, need to make a lot of money, and in order to do that, they need to kind of hit a certain like couple of check boxes to make sure that as many people as possible are going to buy them. I don't necessarily agree with that, but it is unfortunately the truth. And so, like when we think about games that could be interesting and fun, but maybe don't cost full price, then we've got AA titles and below, and we've been kind of experimenting in that regard in the last couple of weeks. Cody, you and I, you
Yes.
wanted to talk about Generation Zero.
Yes.
So
But,
Generation
good
Zero
segue.
came out last Tuesday, right?
Uh,
Tuesday. It came out earlier this month.
Yes.
You've gotten more experience in it than I have. What do you think of it?
Yeah. So when I was first, presented with it, it seemed like it was going to be very sandboxy,
Yeah.
and it's not very sandboxy. There's no crafting, no building, survival, at least that I've come across so far, but it doesn't seem like there is at all.
Right.
Doesn't seem like they incorporated that mechanic. But
Yeah, there's no survival to it whatsoever, which is weird
No,
because you're
there's
out
no
in like
survival
beautiful
aspect.
wilderness for a pretty large portion of the game, I would say.
I mean, honestly, I have a feeling that it will get better with time. Not the game, but as they update it and add more features and functions, I feel like they're going to. It's like Siege, guys. It's like Siege. Siege was so broken when it first came out.
I mean, Siege was broken for like the first 2 years, but it did
Okay,
get
let's
better.
be honest.
Yes,
Siege is still broken.
Siege is still very
Nope.
broken, but
I refuse.
but
I refuse as
I
well.
see what you're saying. It will get
I
better with
think-
time if the developers give a fuck about it. And here's the good thing. I think Avalanche actually gives a fuck about the quality of games that they make. I know that people don't like. I don't know why people don't like to talk about Mad Max, but Mad Max is still one of like my most favorite open world games like ever. They
It
fucking
was-
nailed
was
that
fun.
world.
It was fun,
Yeah.
and that world. I was worried about it because it came out around the time that Fallout 4 came out, but they were so different, and mechanically, it felt, at least hand to hand, it felt like Assassin's Creed almost.
Yeah, I had
Okay,
that
just
had that
gotten
feel.
done. What was before Origins? Syndicate? No.
Syndicate, yeah. I think
Okay,
Syndicate.
I had just finished Syndicate, and then I switched over to that. I was like, wow, like this hand-to-hand
I really wanna
combat
play
and
Syndicate.
parrying it feels very similar. And I was like, that's really cool. And then you incorporate the gunplay. I was expecting a little bit more gunplay out of it, rather than just point
The shotgun.
tap a button. Yeah,
Yeah.
point, shoot with a shotgun, and one tap people. But I also didn't expect the world out of it. But then when you got to car combat, that's where it got fun.
Yeah, it really opened up as a game from that from that perspective. And I mean, I'd say that car combat was like most of the game, but what was nice about it. I mean, I feel like if you're gonna make comparisons, I feel like Mad Max felt a lot like Batman, and that's not a bad thing at
Yes.
all because Batman feels
No.
really good. But the thing that it did well is that like it knew that it felt like Batman, so it added car combat as a huge part of it. So you drive for a long time, then you get out your car and you're motherfucking Mad Max, and you're just bashing people's heads. Like I liked Mad Max because it was fucking brutal, and you're just like
Oh, and the
breaking people's
finishers,
necks.
too?
Yeah, it was great. It was like the ultimate. Like I think that sometimes you need to depower a player character in order to make them like and make the game good. Not the case at all with Mad Max. Going around shivving people in the neck, breaking people's throats and shit, fucking gutting them with the shotgun. It was just like that's why I like it so much. Like I don't think I ever had a bad time playing Mad Max. And my point being is that like Avalanche does good shit. They just don't get that much of attention.
I mean, you kind of say the same about Respawn up until, 2 months ago.
That is true. I mean, Titanfall 2 is still one of my most favorite games, like first-person shooters of all time.
It's extremely underrated.
It is so good. It is so good. I wish I had played Titanfall 1 because people who've played both said that one is better, but fucking Titanfall 2. Like I have a friend, my friend Dante. He's been on the party, but he's got kind of a shoddy connection and he's not always available. We were playing Apex the other night and we started talking about Titanfall 2 and it was just nothing but like love and nostalgia and like just the cool shit you could do in that game. Like I want to have just like a Titanfall 2 podcast. I love Titanfall 2 so much. But moving on from that, Titanfall 2 is excellent, and it never got the appreciation it deserved, unfortunately.
Although, I mean, with Apex now, it seems to be getting the attention.
The only thing I didn't like about Titanfall was the Nexus weren't that cool to me.
Which one did you play as?
Shut up, we're not even gonna get into this.
No, we're gonna get into it because you said it. Which one did you play as?
Tone?
Yeah, you played as the most unoriginal, bitch-ass fucking piece of shit Titan as that existed.
I was good with him.
Tone was a woman.
I kicked shit with him.
Also,
Tone's a goddamn robot.
She was a female robot.
Sorry for the interruption. You guys might want to fast travel to me for this this hunter.
I gotta. Okay, yeah.
Give me 1 second.
But look, let's just do it quick, just because I need to get it out now. Who did you like to play as in terms of people really like the pilot-to-pilot gameplay. I also thought it was excellent, but I feel like the fact that just like in Battlefield or just like in Mad Max, the fact that there was an option to do something different is what set that game apart. And if you really wanted to, you could shine. Like I was excellent. I was excellent in pilot versus pilot, but when I got into a Titan, I was fucking death incarnate. And there's nothing that will ever take those moments away from me. Like I was good with every one of the Titans except Tone because she annoyed the shit out of me. Who did you like to play as, Cody? Which was your favorite Titan?
I actually didn't play Titanfall.
What the fuck?
I've yet to pick it up. Yeah, I know. And as much as I really want to pick it up, because I think I can pick it up for like $10.
So good.
I've got so many games that I'm playing right now. I'm trying to manage Left Alive, Division 2, Generation Zero. I haven't even started Borderlands the remake because I'm waiting for James to pick it up so we can start our characters.
I feel that a lot because I'm in the same boat. I've got a bunch of games that I'm not finished with, a bunch of games that I've got 2 games in particular. Like I restarted Red Dead and God of War, and I very much would actually like to see those through to the end again, because I realize I don't replay games very often anymore, and those are games that I just want to do again. So I feel that it's like even now when new games come out, I'm just like, oh fuck, like. I even have the money, but I don't have the fucking time now.
No time.
But
I ain't
feel
got
that.
time for that.
I feel like me and you have been talking a lot. Anybody else got anything to jump in on? Titanfall, Battlefield, AAA developers. We were talking about Generation Zero.
All I play is Siege and Division. That's it.
Okay.
That's all I have time for.
Yeah. Well, that kind of is. Is this the guy we're killing for the mask?
How's Battle Axel doing, Dylan?
He's good. He's asleep.
Nice.
So yeah, so back to Generation Zero, because I actually would like to get some talks in. So yeah, it's not as open worldy, or it's not as holy
it's
shit.
extremely open world.
It is very
It's
open
huge.
world. It's not as sandboxy as you were expecting. Now I knew before going into it that it was going to be like that because I saw like a little game ranks thing, and they kind of I feel like he conflated all the problems with that game to be he's about to fuck me up. Wow. punched me in the nose and
Help
killed
me.
me.
Help me.
No one can
I'm
help
dead.
you. We're all dead. I knew what I was getting into with Generation Zero, but you said that you really liked it, and so I was like, fuck it, I have somebody else to play with, I'll check it out. Go ahead.
Also, respawn really quick so that you guys can run right back over. I am stemming the bleeding, but
I'm the only one that can run over there. I think. Let's see. Good luck.
the price point of the game, not bad. Especially,
Yeah, it's $40.
You know, it's not bad. It's
I feel like
feels about right.
I feel like your opinion of this game and my opinion of this game are the same. So just please tell me what you think of this game.
I just got an
I
ad on my
enjoy
Instagram
it.
for Viagra.
They're trying to tell you
What?
something, man.
Sometimes you need a little help.
Fuck, it respawned. I
You should
think.
just be grateful that it exists in case.
I don't know how to get down here.
We've got a lull in the whole conversation. Generation Zero.
Yes. Generation
I'm
Zero.
sorry.
It's okay.
Attachment system, pretty cool. Ammo system, there's different types of bullets for each gun. Pretty cool. I would have liked to see maybe weapon maintenance.
Yeah, instead
I-
of just like
I
a
think-
weapon rarity class system, that was yeah.
I think that's just because we were so spoiled with Metro.
Yeah, Metro was really good. I still haven't even finished Metro. I only get into it like an hour at a time, but like every time I play, like I have to when I play Metro, I have to stop everything I'm doing to remind myself that I am playing Metro. I'm like, you can't do it like you usually do it. Remember, this is Metro.
No, you can't play that game like any other game. It's its own thing.
It's its own beast, right?
Yeah.
So
Are we supposed to be coming through here?
I have no idea.
Yeah, he despawned, guys.
What does that mean?
We gotta start
Fuck!
over, or can we have to go back later?
No, I think we have to come back later. So let's just move on to the next
Off
one.
to the next one, yeah.
Well, you guys tried to be fucking heroes. Fucking left me.
Demon mask.
So yes, let's get back on target here.
Yes, Generation Zero. Go ahead,
Generation
buddy.
Zero. Okay, yeah. So
I'll chime in.
right off the bat, it's a cool concept. I don't think it's executed perfectly. Some things that I really don't like about it are, I think like aiming is it's not even an aiming problem because you can fuck around with the settings like in any game, but aiming is a bit off in that like I have no problem aiming a pistol. But anything that fires like in a single shot and then needs to be reloaded, a shotgun, a sniper rifle, anything like that, I just can't seem to operate when I'm ADSing well. Like the robots wander out. There's not very strong aim assist, which is a good thing, I think. But they move really quick, and when you miss, they have an opportunity to fuck you up, and then they do, and then you're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
They move incredibly fast too.
Right, and they move extremely
least-
fast.
The ones that I've come across so far.
Yeah, so like the one that I came across one that didn't move very fast but was huge, and he did not give a fuck about any of the weapons I had.
You're like, oh, pistol? Nope. Oh, rifle? Nope.
Yeah, shotgun?
Oh,
No.
shotgun? You're out of ammo? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so and that's kind of the crux of the issue. I like using the pistol because I feel like I can get multiple shots on target really easily. The shotgun, if I miss my shot, the pump takes a long time. If I miss my shot with a rifle, I have to chamber the next round. And then ADSing with a scope with the sniper scope makes it, for whatever reason, incredibly hard for me to aim, especially with enemies that move really quickly. The key to any
It also
shooter
depends on the magnification of the scope, though,
Right.
because I have come across different scopes.
Right, and but I haven't yet, so I've just got like the little shitty 4X, and it's almost inconsequential. It's hard to even use. So, I think
Yeah, I think I'd honestly rather use that hunting rifle without a scope.
right, Yeah, because the scope's like dirty and broken, and like, you know, because there's like a weapon class, like a rarity system, so you can get better stuff, which is promising. What I really want to do before I make a final decision on whether or not I like the way the game feels is get my hands on an automatic weapon. If I could get that, then maybe my problems would go away, because then I could you know, fix the fact that I'm a shitty shot with lots and lots of bullets. Until that happens, I'm still kind of like, I don't know how I feel about the game. Visually speaking, it's really good. What happened?
Just the Rainbow Six GIF on my computer.
Visually speaking, I think the game's quite impressive, and this is something that I said about it that actually has a lot to do with Siege. I like games that are willing to pare down their graphics to increase their lighting quality. And Division actually has excellent graphics and excellent lighting, but not every game can achieve that. And some of the lighting effects that I've seen in Generation Zero, I was going to say Zero Dawn, Generation Zero, and in like Rainbow Six, although Rainbow Six is a well-lit game, are always really impressive. I like seeing people approach, like, not everything has to just look pretty or be high-quality textures, you know? And I appreciate developers investing more time into just kind of developing an artistic style rather than just making everything look photorealistic. So that's a positive that it does. I like playing with friends, that's another positive. And then it's got customization that is fucking fun and cool, and I like that too. So it's a cool game. I just wish that it felt better, unfortunately, which is a big deal.
Yeah. Like, that's you know, another thing that we talked about with Siege and making Rainbow Six 2. Is
Rainbow 7. I'm calling it Rainbow 7, even though I know that's not what it's called.
Rainbow 69.
So
Rainbow
let me
is
talk
magic?
about. So let me talk about Super Cloud Belt.
What is that?
It's an indie game that released a long time ago, but I picked it up like a few months ago, and it's really good. That is
You're
all.
dead as fuck.
Fuck you, man. I got.
I'm about to get got, too.
That's a weird transition here.
Yes, it is, but go on. I think if we keep talking about this, we can go on, and this is unfortunately... Like, to wrap up, I think Generation Zero, for $40 is not bad. I think I would have felt much better about it if it was 30. Like, if it came out at $30, I would have been like... I wouldn't even be mad that it didn't feel perfect. I'd be like, they'll get to it eventually. But at 40, I'm just kind of like, oh, man. I could have had, like, a really expensive dinner. I mean, I guess not a really expensive dinner, but I could have had a nice dinner with that money, and instead I spent it on a game that I might not play.
With that extra $10, damn it.
And I spent it, and instead I spent it on a game that I might not put much more thought or energy into, unless it gets like some sort of major update. To just make a quick comparison, it feels a lot like Rico. That game came out for $20. I had a lot of fun with that, and I wish there were more people playing it. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But it's a two-player co-op game, and it was just kind of like a... It has its problems, too. It's very janky in a lot of ways, but it's
that one's
cool.
the first-person shooter, right?
Yeah, like you're basically a cop. You kick down doors and you shoot bad guys. That is the game in its entirety.
It's Terrorist Hunt.
Right. It's Terrorist Hunt the game, right. Which is why I bought it, really, because I like Terrorist Hunt a lot, but I get tired of Terrorist Hunt a lot also. But yeah, so that's my thing about fucking Generation Zero and my plug for Rico. You wanted to talk about an indie game.
Yeah, an indie game that I think deserves more attention than it actually got. Like it was pretty well received, but I think it's just so good.
What is it about? I've never heard of it.
What Super Cloud Built is, it's made by a Swedish indie studio, and it's kind of like a platformer, but it's a 3D platformer where you have to think Jet Set Radio, except if you miss your jump, you fall to your death.
Okay, that sounds less awesome.
Oh,
like Fez?
that's the whole thing. You have lives, you have checkpoints and stuff like that, of course. But it's like a part parkour and part shooter. It has a high difficulty. It gets pretty tough, like on some of the higher levels. But you could just play through the story on easy and you're perfectly fine. But I think that game really shines in the harder difficulties because you start trying to challenge yourself. There's a fair bit of customizing, like the way your player looks by doing challenges and stuff like that. Well, yeah, it's a good game. I wish it was received a bit better than it actually was because it was like under the radar.
Say it again.
Like,
I don't even know. What is this called?
It's called Super Cloud Built.
Super Cloud Built.
I remember you picked it up when it was on super sale on PSN, right?
Yes, I picked
You're
that
like,
up
ooh.
and a lot of others. Yeah, and I actually really liked it. Yeah, pretty much. I liked the artwork, and if I remember correctly, it's actually hand-drawn and hand-animated, just like Skullgirls.
James, we're not supposed to be here. We're in the wrong area. Come back.
Just come to us and you'll find a lot of loot. Oh, that's a gold, baby. Thank you. Here, hold on one second.
Is that it for your plug for Super Cloud Build?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's just a good game. If anybody's looking for a cheap, fun, challenging game that is like a 3D platformer with parkour and shooting, check it out. It's good.
Oh, I didn't know there was shooting. That's interesting. I'll Google it. I want to check this out now. How much was it when you got it?
Really
How much was it full price?
Ooh, I think full price is like 15. I got it for 5.
That's
I think
not bad.
it's something like that, honestly.
Okay.
Not bad at all.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. Anybody?
Sorry, random.
Yeah, go ahead.
Random thought. I just realized a topic that we didn't discuss earlier, but we should probably consider, just because it's free on PSN right now, and that would be Conan.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I can sum this up for you really quickly. I wanted to like Conan, but we played it like one time with a group, and then Gia really kind of like he encapsulated it perfectly. He had to download Generation Zero, and then he was like, "I'm just gonna delete Conan. I don't think I'm gonna play that game again." After I finished playing with a group, I was like, "I don't want to do this."
Yeah. It's okay.
Is it?
I mean, if
is
you
it
don't
like
have,
Gauntlet?
If you don't have any other games, yeah, cool.
it's
Yeah.
like
If you have
Ark.
no other games,
It's every other sandbox game.
yeah, it's Ark. It's basically Ark.
Climbing in that game is the most atrocious thing I've ever seen.
It's an aberration of nature.
It's
Oh, you're
it's
at an
not
angle?
beautiful.
Okay, here. This is what it looks like when you climb at an angle. No, that's no.
It basically, it's like if anybody ever played the old Spider-Man game from 1999, that's how climbing
It
works.
is, like, accurate.
Yeah, exactly.
Or,
That's how climbing works in Conan. And climbing is the only thing that separates it from being Ark. So
Or Breath of the Wild.
Don't
that's a
even
good
get me started
comparison.
on Breath of the Wild.
I thought the climbing in that
I
game was
worked
pretty
in that.
neat.
I mean, it's
Yeah, but it
same
used an
concept.
endurance system.
Hey, Gia's joined. We're podcasting, Gia.
Hello, what's
Yeah,
up?
How you doing?
you're about an hour
Right,
late.
You're an hour in,
Not
but
bad.
it's all good.
I mean, 2 hours. We started at 9. What are you talking about?
Yeah, how late is that?
No. You were only like a half hour late. But we talked about see that's the thing. We gotta like try and, as much as I love having these conversations, we should try. This is my fault more than anybody. We should try and be a little bit more concise because we're an hour in and I don't think we've said anything remotely relevant to what's going on in gaming today at all, except for
No.
maybe a little bit about Firestorm. So. Yeah, no, Conan is a fucking hard no for me. Gia, I was telling everybody what you thought of it, and I was kind of like saying that he summed it up for me great. You said you weren't going to play Conan after playing it one time. What did you think about it?
It's just, I'm just not interested in it right now. I've got Division and I don't really want to put my time into something else.
Right, you've been going hard on Division,
Yeah.
like constantly. It's actually kind of impressive because usually we don't see you very often.
Yeah, he and I have been getting it.
Yeah, you too, Cody. But I mean, that makes sense to me because I know that you're like really into guns and military type stuff.
Plus, it's a looter shooter, man.
And it's a looter shooter, right? Okay.
I love looter shooters.
So, is there anything else, any other topics or any other games we'd like to draw attention to? Actually, I've got one last thing. And and I'm pretty sure Gia and Keaton's eyes are gonna roll so hard their fucking retinas are gonna detach. But I have to do another elevator pitch for Elite Dangerous to you, Cody.
Oh my god.
I just want someone to play this game with, okay?
You know what's funny is Starlinks went on sale for $30 today. The like $80 starter pack, and I was like, Basically Elite Dangerous mixed with a little bit of No Man's Sky.
Just with like Skylanders.
With a Skylanders model.
Yeah, with the Skylander model.
Ooh, yeah, that's a hard no for me.
That's a no for me, dog.
Like old Star Fox.
But I was like, do I want to try this?
Do you want to betray your friend and get us? Look, I'm trying to like find a way to explain it. Like here's
you've explained.
I know,
but
I've done a poor job of it. Like if I could break it down based on what kind of space games are available now, like if No Man's Sky is Call of Duty, and that's being generous to No Man's Sky. If No Man's Sky is Call of Duty, then Elite Dangerous is Stalker. And that's what I like about it. That's what I think. That's where I think the value is in it. If you don't want to play a slow burn, hyper detailed sim, then okay, yeah, then definitely don't buy the game. But like, there's so many good things to it, and when you get a good group in and you're just playing all together, like that game really fucking pops when there's like.
Really? So you've played it in a group?
Yeah. No, I have a huge group of people that play it together. They just don't play very often anymore. And one of the reasons why is because like. This is unfortunately the truth about Elite Dangerous, which I'll be upfront about. You do get to a point where you've kind of done it. Like, you've done what there is to do in Elite Dangerous. There's, like, engineering, there's exploring, there's combat. And, you know, there's pluses and minuses for all those things. But if you get tired of that and you don't have anybody else to play with, you'll put the game down entirely. So, and that's kind of where I'm at. Like, the reason why I want you to play it or look at it at all is because I want a reason to play it again. Because I bought the fucking flight stick for it and I love using that thing. I just never get to anymore. Also, flight stick compatible if you want to do that. Nothing? Okay, fine. Let's move on. So,
so today in gaming.
Yeah, that's going to be the next thing. Somebody vamp for me.
Yeah, side notes on today in gaming. A 20-year-old Doom record was finally broken. So it was a speed run. So after 20 years, that record was finally broken.
It's insane to me that people are still speed running is a whole microcosm of gaming that I do not understand.
Also, due to the Borderlands Game of the Year edition having matchmaking issues, Gearbox released a statement saying they're actively working on a solution. Team Fortress turned 20 today, so there you go. Team Fortress turning 20. Congrats, man. Even though you guys don't make games anymore and are kind of a shitty company, congrats. The co-director of Kingdom Hearts 3 is receiving flack because he was told he should have done more. Yes.
Okay.
Sonic 3 Air was remade, and it's pretty cool. Sonic 3 and Knuckles remake on the PC now. So that's pretty cool.
Do they know the way?
Okay.
Oh my god, I hate you.
I'm ready. I've got the news ready. We've got the top 3 stories of the week. So.
Okay.
All right.
We talked about it a little bit last week, and of course it's in the news again. Anthem has shit the bed again. And there was a huge article by Jason Schreier from Kotaku about what went wrong with Anthem, and it was actually like
released.
I said that like I have a lot of respect for BioWare, but after hearing just kind of like the Cliff Notes version of the article, Jason Schreier interviewed 19 people from BioWare and I guess greater EA, and just the management fucking black hole nightmare that Anthem became. is not just a like atrocious problem, but also like really kind of disgusting in the way that they handled it. Multiple people on that project left because of stress and didn't return. They had management. They had multiple different managers that came and went because they like the thing that I saw that summed it up was like they were reviewing it to God of War, or not reviewing it, comparing it to God of War, which is a weird comparison, but I'll get to the point in a second. He said, you know, Cory Barlog, or he asked people. I was watching a video on Skill Up. If anybody has seen Skill Up, I talk about him in every podcast these days. But he basically said that he asked some developers from Sony Santa Monica how they managed to make God of War, and they said it's really simple. We took our ideas to Cory, the director of the game, and if he liked them, we did them, and if he didn't, we changed them. And the point of that was that Cory's vision as a director is what made God of War what it was. He had a very specific vision, in comparison to Anthem, which did not. Oh my God, I'm about to be attacked on my own. Where did you guys go? I'm just running. They noticed me and now they're chasing after me and they haven't shot yet. I'm just gonna run away. But Anthem is specifically lacking in vision and not great. Not great to say the least. So
very shallow.
Yeah, I mean, it's just broken. It's broken all the way down into its bones, and it's really sad because I used to have a lot of respect for BioWare. But what they did here with this game, not only because of what it cost me as a player, that's $80, but what it ended up costing their own fucking people that work for them, who they should be the most loyal to, I think is really kind of the big thing. You know, like, you can't ask people to spend hundreds and hundreds of hours of their life developing a game for you and then to just throw it away and start over again, over and over and over again over the course of 6 years.
Well, here's the thing: is I actually worked with a guy that worked at Sony in the game developing department, and he said like the fucking video game world is so fucking cutthroat. Like, all these guys, like, they work for Sony and then they work for Ubisoft and then they work for EA and then they, like, it's just all over the fucking place, dude. Because, I mean, think about it. Everybody loves this shit, you know? They want to be a part of it, and they get in this field thinking that, you know, they're fucking gonna make it big, but dude, they just get tossed around like fucking crazy.
Right. And there are examples of, like, you get hired for a studio as an independent contractor. You know, like, a lot of the people, like, you know, they say, like, such and such game had a team of 300 people on it. Well, like, 90% of those people are going to be fired or laid off, and then they're going to go find other work because they're just using their skills to develop the game.
Yeah, they treat them like shit and make them work for fucking 12 to 16 hours a day, and those people are like, hey, fuck, what the fuck?
And if you're an independent contractor, you're also not receiving benefits. That's why they have you working as an independent contractor, because you can't be paid out in that way. And that's what I mean, is that, like, I love video games, but if it really came down to me having to pay more for them when they were brand new to ensure that the people who were making them were able to do it without fucking wanting to commit suicide, I'd have to do it, because, like, I don't want to love something that is, like, you know, fucking immoral that takes immorality to produce.
Well, dude, think about it. Like, you're telling me that this shit isn't fucking profitable for companies, like, and they can't take care of their fucking people too? Like,
well,
we're paying $60 to $70 a game on top of DLCs, on top of fucking
microtransactions,
in-game stuff. Dude,
right?
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
You guys want to talk about developing a game? I actually was talking to someone who was part of the original team of Bungie back when Halo 1 was a thing. Today, of all days. And he was telling me about how the work weeks are fucking horrible, and then he went into the Red Dead work week for Red Dead 2. Fucking 96 hours a week for over 3 months.
So for people who don't know, that's more than double the amount of time you would work full time.
Yes,
if you're
but
not
no,
American.
I did the math.
What are we doing here?
I was like, okay, realistically, if you get 8 hours of sleep every night, plus that, in the total amount of time, you would have 12 hours of free time.
A week.
Yeah.
A week. That's not including eating time, commuting time. That's
family
fucking
time.
crazy.
doctor's appointments, anything else that might take up your time. And that's what I mean. Like,
Well,
this is a huge human cost we're talking about.
Yeah, and here's what their excuse is, like, oh, these guys are contracted or whatever, so like they're on a contract, it's not up to us, it's up to their company, but then they like say you have to meet this fucking deadline. It's like, Jesus Christ, man, like this is like, it's fucked up. It's really fucked up.
And you hit the nail right on the head. It's not that they're not making money. Like fucking, and not that this is a comparison, because I don't think Fortnite took this many hours to make, but like, you know, Fortnite brings in what, $1 billion every 3 months? You know, like, and you can't use some of that to pay some benefits to the people that made your game, you know, and not to say that every game makes that much money, but like, Red Dead made a lot of money, and they knew that it was going to make a lot of money. Call of Duty makes a lot of money. Every game, a lot of these games that take up a lot of hours, man hours, they make a lot of money. That's why they have these people working so much time.
I'm on fire. Fuck.
And if you're not going to compensate the people that are making them, then how like, a bubble's got to burst eventually, is what I'm saying. And nobody wants that.
Why do I keep getting on fire? What the fuck?
You're sitting in fire. There's fire over there. It was like you were right on the edges, but yeah, I just like it's just kind of like, it's shitty, especially for me, because like I give you the money because I want you to keep making the games.
Yeah, right. And then you find out how fucking terrible they're being to people. Oh my god, dude.
And you're like, this is my fault. I paid these motherfuckers to do this to people.
Yeah. I'm a monster.
I'm a monster just because I wanted to enjoy some video games. So yeah,
I'm the chosen one.
It's a problem.
I feel like the gaming industry needs to get that microscope effect a little bit.
I mean, they need to unionize.
That's it. How much better would it be if they just took care of their people and they made just fucking badass games, like all the time?
Right, but that's the thing, is that like it comes down to the publishers wanting all the profit for themselves, because it's just like we said, it's not like they're not making profit.
Yeah.
But they want all the profit, and if they don't make all the profit, then it's not good enough, and that's like, I mean, that's capitalism for you, but like, it's fucking disgusting and really unfortunate when you think about it. So yeah, so fucking Anthem, just total clusterfuck. I honestly don't even think I want to ever play the game again. I'm just like, fuck it, I lost on this one.
Help me.
I'm right here with you, I'm right to your left.
Careful, they might shut down our channel.
Oh, right. Oh, well, that's sorry. I got away from the point. That's actually the big thing. In the whole week since that article has been released, the managers haven't talked to the staff about it, and the only thing that has happened is that they've gotten a company-wide email that says one thing. It says, "Do not speak to the press." So that was the take-home. That was the take-home message they got from them being lambasted for being fucking fuck-ups. It's fucking atrocious, and just really, like, it's fucking sad. Like here's how I feel about life, you guys. When somebody's being more adult than me, we're fucking in trouble. Or being less adult than me, we're fucking in trouble. That's what I mean. And these people, like, I'm just like looking at them like, really? You guys are fucking children.
He just tried to Spartan kick you. Let's talk about that.
But yeah, that's the first story for this week. It's the top story. Any more things? I've kind of just like espoused it in fine detail, but go ahead.
Apparently, something's being teased about the next game that Bioware's supposed to make is Knights of the Republic 3.
Yeah, let's.
It excites me, but then again, it also, I don't want them to fuck it up. Like, that's my favorite game ever. Like, please, like, they need to take some time and fucking like fucking think what the hell they're doing. I don't want them to just like fucking immediately make that after what, 2
gun case over here.
I mean, or you could be
What's the
like
last good
Blizzard.
game they made?
You could be like Blizzard, have the best fiscal year you've ever had, and then fire half your staff.
Jesus fucking Christ. We're all doomed.
Okay.
We're all
there
doomed.
Are 2 different Biowares. There's Bioware Austin and what's the other one?
Edmonton.
Like that?
Yeah, so that's the funny thing, right? Edmonton has experience making a live service game,
Edmonton, yeah.
and they still didn't take any.
Next.
They still didn't take any advice from them. Like they have resources to make good games. They're not using them, and they're costing the people that work for them huge amounts of, like, their livelihood. It's just like it's wrong on so many levels. We were just talking about Red Dead, right? Like, I loved Red Dead. I'm not okay with what it cost people, but I really did love Red Dead. If I felt the same way about Anthem, this might have been a different conversation. I've been like, they need to get their shit together.
Back up, Cody.
But flat out, like, full stop. They're fucked up, and fuck them.
Well, with all this negative talking about video game companies, how about a little positivity?
Sure.
Fun fact, Nintendo is the 9th most reputable company in the United States. The only gaming company to crack the top 10.
That is actually the third story for this week.
Oh, look at that. Look at me and you.
I mean, we skipped over to
Segue.
the second one, but it's all right. We'll get to
we'll
it.
come back to it. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay.
I
We
mean,
never said we were doing this chronologically.
right. I like variety. So I'm not a huge Nintendo fan, and not that I hate them. It's just like what it really boils down to. And this is kind of a hard conversation to have because when you're like, yeah, I don't like Mario, people look at you like you're the fucking devil. Like you
Well,
said
I
that
mean,
you
you
like to
are.
fuck animals or some awful shit like that. I don't like
might.
Nintendo games, and that's because I
Well-
didn't grow up on them. The first system I had was a PlayStation 1. And the first game I ever played, I think, was like...
James, I heard Raul, somebody's on you.
Well, I was fucking poor, dude, okay? We didn't get a PlayStation 1 until like 97. What the fuck? So, don't judge me. Don't game shame me.
Game shame. Oh my god. Let that be the title of this podcast. Game shame.
Trademark.
But you know, the first like couple games I owned, like the first 2 games I had were Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 3, which was fucking awesome, and fucking Tomb Raider 3, which was not that great, but that's because I was like 7 and didn't know how it worked. But yeah,
You
it
were
was,
just like, ooh, triangle boobs.
I was like, ooh, look at
Nice.
no. Let me tell you what I spent the majority. Let me tell you what I spent the majority of my time in Tomb Raider 3 doing. Finding interesting
Looking at
ways.
triangle boobs.
Finding interesting ways to kill Lara Croft. I was like, if I dive from this height, I'll break her neck. Look, Mom, look. And I broke her neck. Or I would jump into like pools of water with piranhas. Like, look, Mom, she's getting eaten by piranhas now. That was my time in Tomb Raider because I didn't know how the game worked. But those were my first games. And outside of that, I don't know what I later on, like what kind of tastes I later on developed. I think like, what was a big thing? Fucking Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon. I was 7, 8 years old, so like it kind of lined up like that. Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, and shit like that. There was a lot of
Metal.
Toomba. Anybody remember Toomba?
I do.
Yeah, right? Like, all the different shit I got from the rental section of Blockbuster, which is also a thing. Like, there's several people that are going to see this, like, what are these people fucking talking about? Blockbuster used to be a place where you could rent video games and movies.
I mean, I kind of feel like PlayStation wasn't that advertised when it came out. Because I can remember being in 2nd grade and going to a friend's house and he's like, oh yeah, man, I got a PlayStation. And I'm like,
Chuck behind us.
what? I was thinking you talked like a jungle gym or something, like a PlayStation. What the fuck's that, dude?
Help.
And no, I went over to the house and I was like, oh, because I had a 64. And like, because I think 64 came out 95 and PlayStation came out 96.
Yeah, something like
I mean,
that.
I feel like I had no advertisement. Because, I mean, we had cable. I watched TV all the fucking time. No commercials. I didn't see nothing about this thing until I saw it in his fucking house in his living room. I thought it was
So-
a jungle gym I was going to see, and I was kind of surprised but still upset.
Because it wasn't a jungle
Like
gym.
video
It's like, I
games.
thought we were getting a
Like, I wanted to be a
PlayStation.
little active. I was a kid, man. I like to be active. More than I play video games.
So yeah, well,
Shit,
here
shit,
we
on
are,
James, on
20 something years later, and you're fucking
Yeah.
doing a podcast on a PlayStation. So we see how well that fucking worked out.
Exactly.
I got away from the point, but I was just saying that I have no opinion on the matter. So, Gia, you're a pretty big Nintendo fan, and everybody else here, I think, owns a Switch of some type. So you guys discuss while I shoot some
Running.
stuff.
Help.
Well, I for one am glad that Nintendo cemented themselves as a reputable company.
Since when have they not done that, though? They've been huge for,
Yeah.
like, ever.
Help me, guys.
I'm shooting at him. He's just really angry at you.
Oh my god.
I do.
Go up the
me, help
stairs.
me.
Go up the
Getting back
stairs.
to-
Go up the stairs. Oh,
Trying.
I'm sorry. I'm
Didn't
sorry.
try hard enough.
He's gonna kill me.
Yeah, he is.
That's
Look
it.
at him walking slow.
Oh, fucking game over. Yeah. Oh god.
Ooh.
Going back down.
All right, so Nintendo.
Is he
Yes.
still behind me?
No,
Okay.
you're good. I got you.
They've done great with the Switch. The Wii U was a flop, but they still supported it. And to put it in perspective, when the Wii U was in development and it eventually released and it did not do well at all, the CEOs
again.
at
Fuck.
Nintendo
They took a pay cut.
pay cut.
Yeah.
That way they could keep all their employees. Now that's how a video game company should be ran. And Reggie
That I agree
Fils-Aimé announcing his retirement like a month or two ago broke my heart. But happy for him because he's leaving on such a fucking high note. And he's leaving in good health. Now Miyamoto's the only one left, and if he leaves, I'm gonna cry. But all in all, they've done a great job with the Switch. They're thinking about a handheld system to replace the 3DS, since the 3DS is pretty much done at this point. They haven't released any new games for it. There's no high-profile games coming out.
Right.
Although I do think Nintendo's gonna hit a lull. I honestly think this is the year of the Nintendo lull. They've
Look,
just been
I'll
on
tell you
fire
right
since the
now,
Switch
if they
was
make
released.
a fire fucking Metroid game, I'm there. I will buy a Switch if they make a killer ass Metroid. I can't even fucking say it. If they make a cool Metroid game, I'm there. But as of right now, everything else they have on offer is not something that I'm particularly interested in.
Yeah, I mean that's understandable. Like you said, how you were not raised with Nintendo and you don't really have any connection to these games. That's understandable. A lot of people bought the Switch for. Oh shit! I'm level 30. A lot of people bought the Switch for Breath of the Wild when that came out. And I could have a whole long discussion on Breath of the Wild and how that is the worst Zelda game they've ever put out, aside from Zelda 2 and the CDI Legend of Zelda games.
Wow.
That's for another day.
Right, you said that Breath of the Wild is the worst game they've ever made.
The worst Legend of Zelda game.
Interesting.
Yes.
Because people love that game.
And
Upset Gia.
yeah, people love that game, and I played it. I
She
beat
is
it
not
twice.
feeling good. He just took off. Yeah.
I've played Breath of the Wild twice, and I do like the game.
But
I
it's
do,
just not the best
but-
Zelda game. I see.
Yeah, when you look at it from a Legend of Zelda perspective, it's not a good Legend of Zelda game.
Why? Because it's open world and it's not like, okay, you have to do this first.
Cover
you
me.
do this.
Not because
Like,
it's
that's why my
not.
girlfriend's brother didn't want to play it, because he's like, this, I don't like that. I'm like,
Well, I mean, that's kind of hypocritical if you don't play it because it's an open world game. Zelda 1 was an open world game.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but my whole thing is Legend of Zelda always. We're not gonna have this discussion. This isn't a discussion for right now.
Right.
But,
Well, I honestly, I've barely played Breath of the Wild.
We were talking about Nintendo as a company, not their products.
Yes. Yeah, I do think they're gonna hit a lull this year, and how they come out of it, I think, is gonna say a lot about them as a company.
They're gonna
and
come out of
what
it
kind
with
of
a killer
games they put
Metroid
out.
game.
Well, yeah. I mean, they did delay it indefinitely because it did not meet their standards.
Oh, wait,
which
I
was
thought it just
fucking
got
awesome.
delayed for like a long time. Indefinitely? Fuck Nintendo.
Yeah.
You guys hear me?
But that's good.
We can now.
Yes.
We couldn't for a while.
Okay. Okay, I was muted apparently. Yeah, so about Metroid. They scrapped the entire project because it
Yes.
wasn't up to their standards.
Okay, well, I guess I won't be buying a goddamn Switch anytime soon. Maybe Pokemon.
Basically, they essentially started completely over and handed it over to another team to work on it, essentially. So, it's gonna be a little while.
I mean, I got respect for them being able to do that or thinking they want to do that, but what happened to Gator?
I think he's getting off.
Oh, man, we could have said goodbye.
Which I should probably be doing the same fairly soon. But,
Well, we only got one more story
yeah.
to cover, and then we got to do
All right,
Siege
one
Watch,
more
but I guess Gator's gone, so we'll just save it for next week. But,
Yeah.
yeah, it was the only story that we have, really, that we didn't go over. The top story this week is fucking Borderlands 3 has been announced for September 13th of 2019, so it's right around the corner in some respects.
yeah.
So I guess all I really that's the news.
Pretty
Anybody
long fucking
excited?
quarter, though.
Considering I bought the Diamond Loot Crate edition,
Yeah, I guess that
I'm
answers
excited.
that question.
I'm going in with reservations.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Me too.
Borderlands 1, great. Borderlands 1, good. Borderlands 2, great.
Okay.
Borderlands pre-sequel,
Not so
horrible.
We don't
much.
talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We don't talk about that one.
But I
now
think
when
they
it comes
learned
to-
from that.
Now, yeah,
I thought
they
one
probably
was better,
did.
too.
But going into 3, I'm keeping an open mind about it, but I'm also hesitant. Just because Borderlands 2, when you look at it, that is the perfect looter shooter. Now,
I
Borderlands
disagree
3,
100%.
ooh, okay, well, I'll get to that afterwards.
Yeah.
But Borderlands 3, it's just, how could they top 2? Their storytelling's always been great, but when it comes to the guns, it looks like they're doing their job. But when you put that much faith into a game, you can't get too excited about it, or else everything's gonna let you down.
Right.
Well, that's why I'm going in
I
with
mean,
reservations.
That's kind of how I approach every game. I'm always like, what was so surprising in 2018 was like, yeah, Red Dead 2's coming out? Cool. I'm excited. And then it came out and I was like, holy shit. Oh, cool. God of War's coming out? I'm excited. And then it came out and I was like, holy shit. If you kind of go in with lower expectations, you're almost always impressed. And that has been the case for me.
So what game do you think is the best looter shooter?
I really don't think there has, like, probably the Division 2, but my problem with, and I said this last week, my problem with Borderlands isn't that it's a bad game at all. It's just that you play it and then you restart it. Like, as soon as you're done with it, you start the story over again, and you just keep playing with your build. You're trying to, like, work on your build. I would like a much more open-ended way to, like, develop a build than rather than just going through the same story missions over and over again. And more importantly, this might be a positive to some people, but, like, sometimes your build takes an extremely long time to have fully fleshed out, and to me it just felt like it took a long time to get to the fun stuff with certain builds. Or I had to invest a lot into certain, like, you know, there were pluses and minuses of each individual build, and I had to invest a lot of stuff into things that I wasn't so interested in order to get to things that I was. And that was, like, just kind of like, you know, I have to put 5 points into this before I can access the next tier of this upgrade tree. And I get it. I understand it from a game perspective. But it to me, it was just kind of like, what it translated into is that, like, every level didn't really mean shit. Every 5 to 6 levels was kind of important. And so it was just like, I didn't like that. That's my opinion. Is like, that's the thing that really turned me off to it. I felt like I was playing the game forever, because you can. And it just didn't do it for me. And I mean, I'll be the first one to also say this, like, I liked the humor in Borderlands 1 and 2. It was obviously better in 2. But, like, the game never takes itself serious. And as somebody, like, you know, I'm sure all of you can guess by now, I take things a bit too serious. As somebody who's almost always serious about everything, playing a game that was never serious about itself just kind of was not interesting to me from, like, a narrative standpoint. So it just didn't do it for me thematically, and then the gameplay itself had faults that, like, I couldn't swallow, really. It's not that it's a bad game. I understand that it's a great one. It's just, like, there are so many parts about it that rub me the wrong way that, like, as excited as I am for it, I don't think I'm even going to buy it unless I hear something excellent about it.
I get you.
But, I mean, I'm sure it'll end up in my library someday, somehow. So, you know,
Yeah.
I'm going to play it. I just don't think I'm going to buy it the first day.
I mean, that was pretty much what I had to say about Borderlands.
Cool.
That
Well,
was pretty much it.
we've been going on for a while. I think we basically got, let's see, what time is it? We are, yeah.
Hour and a half.
We basically did the same amount of time. We did like 140 last time. You know, you guys want to do like fucking, what is it? What is it they used to call it? I used to volunteer, and whenever we would do like events, the volunteer group, the nonprofit group, had this thing called Kisses and Wishes. Kisses are things that you do right, and wishes are things that you'd like to change in the future. Since we got a quick moment, I would like to say I'm grateful for you guys doing this with me. I appreciate you taking the time and energy to help me out with this. I make lots of podcasts, as it seems, and you know, I'm excellent. I'm fucking charismatic. I'm handsome. I'm funny. But I need other people to work off of. And I appreciate that you guys are taking this serious and being part of this every week. It's really important to me. And I hope that this episode 1 continues and it becomes the first, the second of many. And I really appreciate you guys taking this seriously and just being here for this. So I just want to say thanks for that. As far as wishes, I think I should talk less. That's it.
Goddamn right, your voice is atrocious.
You know, I've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, man. You should do, like, radio shows.
I do.
My girlfriend's agreeing.
But yeah, well, tell her I said I appreciate it. But yeah, no, I mean, like,
She can hear you.
You guys are. Oh, well, I appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys just being here for all of this, and you know, I've always been a creative person trying to bring other people onto my fucking projects, and there's nothing worse than having a bunch of friends that you get along with that just don't take your shit that serious.
Or like they do it once and then it just kind of falls through.
Right? They can't come through. They can't deliver or follow
Cough,
through.
cough, D&D campaign.
Yeah, don't even get me started on how many of those I've been part of. How'd you know about me, Keaton, Dante, and Gia and Richard's D&D campaign?
That should be a little anecdote for next time.
Yeah, but no, like I said, I appreciate you guys. Any thoughts, any wishes you'd like to see changed? Honestly, I also want to try involving some of the other people. I think Cody, James, and I are very talkative and can sometimes talk over both each other and the other people that are slightly more quiet. But you know, I think we underutilized Dylan tonight.
A little bit.
Yeah. Anything else? Anybody? Anything you guys would like to add?
I guess next week, what I would like to do is, this is just me personally, but I'll go online and educate myself with more filler stuff because I seem to be pretty good at it.
Yeah, I mean, you actually know how to vamp, and that's extremely helpful for me.
Yeah.
Because I am never prepared.
Also, structure. I like structure.
Nay,
in my life.
boo to structure. I hate structure. You go away.
All I'm saying.
Were you saying,
All
Keaton?
I'm saying is, yeah.
Well, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot that we could do this week compared to last week.
It was a slow week.
It was a slow week in the gaming world, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, next week we can talk about Mortal Kombat and Days Gone because those are like 2 weeks out.
There's still characters that are supposed to be announced before the game comes out too. I was gonna say we can talk about the new characters, but there's like
the characters would be pretty cool to talk about.
I might get I gotta be honest, you guys. I might drop everything I'm doing once I get my hands on Mortal Kombat. So.
Oh, and I'm probably gonna have to do the same just to fucking not get pissed off when I play you.
It's alright, you'll be on that and I'll be on Days Gone and we can just, you know, meet back up when it's podcast time, jump on Division and...
No! No! I will not be doing this. That's another wish I'd like. I do not want to play this game again. Again,
yes.
I like the Division.
I agree.
It's just that, like, I don't like to podcast to it. It's so hard to know what's going on at all.
Yeah, it is.
I agree.
That's fair enough. We should have been playing Generation Zero, but then again, no one would have watched the stream.
Nobody watched the stream this time either. But we get views on YouTube, so I'm not particularly hurt by that. We had like 4 or 5 views since last week, and I had no promotion, no nothing. So I think it'll get better. I mean,
when I checked, though, it was in double digits.
Oh shit! All right, well look at that shit. Yeah, and that was, again, with no promotion. If I were to leverage what I have on Instagram and Twitter, we might have a different situation going on. So,
well, what the fuck, man? What am I doing?
Hey, look, Ma, I made it.
I've got a lot. I just started another podcast on my show. I've got to manage my show. I've got a life outside of that. You know,
you act like this podcast isn't as important.
It's not that it's not important. It's not that it's not important. You know what it is? Is that I hate promoting anything. It's like I like to make shit. I don't like to promote shit. That should be somebody else's job as far as I'm concerned. So I don't even like promoting my own podcast. So
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
can-
say, have you posted anything in DDT about it? Like, let
I-
us know.
No.
I can make an Instagram for it.
I mean, I would appreciate it. It would like really, I would seriously fucking appreciate it if somebody else could
Yeah,
handle that for me.
I'll get around to doing that sometime this week.
Cool.
And then that way we can promote it on the next show where it's hard. And then
All right.
from there we can use it for future content.
Again.
We can do polling if it gets enough.
Yeah.
See what people want to talk about or want us to talk about.
And
shit
you're
like that.
you're young and cute. I'm not successful on Instagram because I'm old and ugly. So.
Oh yeah. I'll just post a picture of my face and it'll get.
Yeah,
it'll
take
get a bunch
your
of
shirt
views.
off, make a pouty face, do that thing with your hair where it's in front of your eyes. Chicks dig that, I guess. I can't do that because I don't have enough hair on the top of my fucking head. So, yeah, no, I fucking please help me out with this. I appreciate you even
wait.
offering.
Oh wait, my mistake. We want people to watch it. I'll get my girlfriend to take a picture with a controller and go from there.
Yeah, there you go. That's a
There
good,
we go.
That's a good start.
We want people to watch
let's
it.
just
My
leverage
mistake.
all the scumbag tactics.
Let's just become EA, guys.
Right. But again, appreciate you guys being here. I hope anybody who watches this after the fact, because nobody caught the stream, motherfuckers, likes it. And if you didn't like it, well, it's the first episode. We'll get better. Check back in like 2 or 3 weeks. Anyway, that's it for me. I need to get something to eat, man. I'm fucking starving.
All right. It has been fun, boys.
It has been
Hey.
fun.
Sure.
Adios.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.